ladies and gentlemen, for John here. We're looking at the patch 12.8 notes. We got a patch coming up for MSI for mid-season invitational for the pros. I'd imagine a good portion of the audience isn't a pro, but this is good stuff to know. But in terms of the casuals like me, I still think knowing the patch notes is always a good idea before heading into another game. So let's check it out. All right? Let's check out the 12.8 patch notes. All right? MSI, MSI, they're cheering. Yup, you heard right. This is the patch that the Midseason Invitational 2022 will be played on. Starting on May 10th. Don't miss it. I'll be there. We have a diverse mix of champion buffs and nerfs to set the global stage, along with the long-awaited Swain mid-scope update. Whoa, what the heck? What the heck is a Swain mid-scope update? I haven't heard anything about that. Keep reading for more news on the Mythic content as well, including showcase milestones. Just in time for Prestige Lunar Eclipse Senna. That's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to see that skin. And all other solar and lunar eclipse nights. And last but not least, we've also got a couple scallywag stragglers aboard the latest set of skins. Sounds like someone's getting a pirate skin. I wonder if that's Misfortune or Gangplank. Gangplank does not get enough attention. I feel like he's probably the most least talked about champion in the game. But who will you be rooting for next month? I'm going to go with Evil Geniuses, the LCS representatives, American representatives. My team is the Mad Lions from their European league, but it didn't work out. But let's check out the patch highlights here. So we have 3 nerfs: Jinx, Soraka, and Xayah. Well, 2 adjusted: Kai'Sa and Swain. Oh my God! Look at these buffs. Look at these buffs. Bard, Ezreal, Fiddlestick, Kassadin, Jhin, Mordekaiser, Poppy, Sejuani, Sylas, Tristana, Vel'Koz, Vladimir, Zera, the Zoe. That's what is that? Like freaking 18 champions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Could be better at math. That's a lot of champions that got buffs. I'll have to remember to play these. Is Lee Sin one of these? I feel like Lee Sin's been popping off lately, but I guess he's not. Anyways, then we got new things. These must be the skins. Gangplank! I knew it! Gangplank the Betrayer. Then we got all these skins here. Actually want to see what these skins are. Maybe later. Maybe later? Maybe later. I'd love to see the new skins. So then we have Lunar Eclipse. It's just showing all the skins. Aatrox, Senna, Sejuani, Severe, Kale, Gangplank, Yasuo. That's gonna be pretty cool to. I'm gonna review those skins. I'm gonna see what those skins look like. See if they're any good. But here we go. We got the champion adjustments. We got the champion patches. We have Swain. Mid-scope update, all abilities adjusted. The Grand General is back and grander than ever. Swain certainly made a name for himself in bot lane since his last mini rework, but as the commander of the Noxian front lines, he should also be one to strike fear in the solo lane enemies' hearts. The goal of this mid-scope update was thus to revive his fantasy as a master strategist and dark, demonic diplomat, rather than someone who must rely on others to execute his plans. What? I like that. What, they're going to make him more mid-lane savvy? I kind of like that. I've been seeing Swain as a support a lot, and I kind of think he's a good support, but it looks like they want to sort of curve him to the mid lane, In addition to mana buffs across all his abilities, of note are some changes to his crowd control capabilities. Swain can no longer pull enemies CC'd by allies. That's a big adjustment. Wow. But his E now lets him pull everyone he snares. Okay, alright, I like that. It's like a little trade-off. It's not really a nerf, but making him all more terrifying in bottlenecks and narrow corridors. Together, these changes should help Swain players in all roles feel like the ruthless yet tactical ruler he is, especially when he unleashes Demonic Ascension, which now lasts for as long as Swain can sustain himself with his enemy's souls. Sacrifices must be made. What a good adjustment. I kind of like that. And it's basically stated everything that they've changed. I don't play Swain really, but it looks like they've made a few good moves. All right, to pull in Ripped Out Souls, they literally just stated that. So removed Swain's pulls no longer deal damage. That's kind of weird. Okay. Pinging W Vision of Empire now displays a list of visible enemies within range in team chat, similar to Twisted Fate and Nocturne ults. Okay. Now grants vision of all rooted targets. Cooldown is reduced by 20% during R Demonic Ascension. That's pretty cool. Demonic Ascension no longer grants Swain that much bonus health. No longer doubles the health gained. That's okay. Not too bad. Swain gains 20 demon power per second while draining enemy champions. That's pretty cool. So, not too much of a nerf as they were saying, more of an adjustment, which is pretty cool. I don't play Swain, but I know people who love Swain, so stuff like this, I hope they're taking into account. You know, Demon Flayer now slows enemies by 60%, DKing over 1.5 seconds. Demon Flayer no longer deals additional damage based on health drained from enemies. That's kind of sucks. I think people might be a little upset about that adjustment. It's weird what they call adjustments and what they call slows, or buffs or nerfs. I'm sorry. This seems more like a nerf to me. I see more red here. They removed more stuff than they added, but hey, I'm not in league, okay? So I'm just gonna read the top lines here, try to move along a little bit quicker here. The Wandering Caretaker has to do too much caretaking before he gets to do any wandering these days. Okay. This should make it easier for him to help his partner out while also incentivizing him to abandon lane. I like how they crossed that out. Roam around the map. Okay. And it looks like they've 35 plus 14 per chimes. And they've adjusted his AP stats as well. That's not bad. Ezreal's been on the fringe of power in both solo queue and competitive play. Solo queue, sorry, I say queue. We're giving him more access to his ult as the game goes on for those big high moments. Be careful where you recall. Oh, so the cooldown on his ult has been reduced? I like that. I like that a lot. That'll make Ezreal a lot more viable if you ask me. Fiddlesticks is often grasping at straws by mid-game lately. We're increasing the Scarecrow's survivability by boosting its W, which becomes less impactful as a defensive tool as the game goes on. Okay, I like that. Still always 15% against minions. Okay, all right. Heal percentage. They've increased the heal percentage on Fiddles. Jhin W root duration increased. Damage reduction against monsters removed. E traps now recharge faster. Damage reduction against monsters removed for first trap. That's interesting. For someone who loves to put on a show, Jhin hasn't been performing all that well. We're giving him more power to set the stage, especially when he catches someone stepping up out of place. We're also helping him clear camps faster with his W and E. So we can get a jingle to a 44. Okay. They keep crossing out stuff, but it's like they're just making little jokes in here, you know? So, but we'll keep moving along here because it seems like we have a lot of buffs to review. Jinx has reigned supreme in bot lane as all season long. Instead of putting a damper on her late game havoc, we're reopening her vulnerability to getting all in early. I like that. If she's good late game, if she's OP late game, make her extra vulnerable early game. I like that. AP Kai'Sa today likes to burst. Okay, so passive proc AP ratio increased, W AP ratio decreased, R shield AP ratio increased. I don't play Kai'Sa, so all of this is kind of foreign to me. But let's see what's going on here. AP Kaiser today likes to burst her enemies down by spamming W from afar. Sorry, ARAM players, tell me about it. Her and Nidalee. They're the bane of my existence with their poke. We're looking to move her away from that pattern as instead playing more around single pops of her passive, which should still feel distinct from her AD builds that usually rely on her attack speed and repeated passive procs. This should help all of her stats feel rewarding, as well as better align her playstyle with her identity, regardless of how she chooses to adapt. Okay, so I guess Kaiser's AP/AD, and they've sort of readjusted that. They've sort of readjusted the passives. You know, I guess they want her to be using her W a little bit, yes, a little bit less, but it seems that they've adjusted it with her passive here. Single pops for her passive. So that's pretty interesting. I don't play Kaiser, but for Kaiser players, that should be interesting. Kassadin, Q shield AP ratio increased, E AP ratio increased. So since the nerf on his passive in 11.24, oh my god, that was such a long time ago, Kassadin has been noticeably weak. We're re-emphasizing his strength as the counter mage by buffing his active abilities rather than his always on passive. So they buffed his active abilities instead and didn't really do anything with his passive. Oh yeah, this is a buff, not a nerf. So that should be interesting. Okay. I don't really play Kassadin either. Here's Mordekaiser. I have dabbled in some Mordekaiser, but let's see here. Passive, more speed increased. Now increases at level 6 and 11. That is pretty cool. Move speed increased. I'm sorry, not more speed increased. Mordekaiser has always been struggling to find his footing in top lane. So we're returning some of the Iron Revenant's move speed. This should help him stick to his enemies better. Get it? Like a magnet. Nope. Right, that wasn't funny. Try again. Okay, we'll stop. Yeah, please do. So they've increased his move speed, which is pretty cool, I guess. In terms of his Q, he should be smashing more. And his ults when he takes people into the nether realm, that's what I call it. That should be pretty interesting to see. Chasing people around. It should be easier for him to chase people around. Poppy, W cooldown reduced. R uncharged knockup duration increased. Charged missile speed and knockback distance increased. Cooldown refund on cancel decreased. We're fortifying both forms of Poppy's R so they feel more like ultimate level abilities, befitting a hero. More W uptime also means she can better control fights against those darned dashy champions. I like that. Her number one specialty. I like that. I like they're giving Poppy a big buff here. You know what I mean? If you ask me, her knockup is increased. Her cooldowns are decreased. Her R uncharged knockup duration increased. That's pretty cool. I like Poppy. I've played her a few times. I think she's a solid champion. I like that they gave her a buff. I might actually try her out just because she's been buffed so much. Then we have Sejuani here. Passive frost armor timer now decreases with level. Sejuani's strength is supposed to be in her ruthless engage capabilities, but her fearsome entrances are too often thwarted by individual poke or shorter fights later in the game. This should help her and Bristle recover faster and show up in all their Iceborne glory. So they're trying to give her more sustain pretty much. So that's pretty cool, okay? Then we have Soraka here. W heal AP ratio decreased. We're doing a straightforward tap down on Soraka's mid to late game healing, which is very high right now, especially in longer engagements where she can spam her W. So this is a nerf. I haven't seen too much Soraka lately, but oh no, they're saying it's a buff, right? I don't see Soraka here. Do you guys see Soraka? Am I missing it? But that looks like a nerf to me. You know what I mean? All right, so they're basically decreased her heal ratio. That's okay. Silas R cooldown reduced. That's really cool. I like that. Silas has been a bit weak at all levels of play, so it's time to loosen his chains. Rather than buffing his lane, we're going to give him more access to the most exciting and creative part of his kit, which should also make him better as a counter pick. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. AD growth increased, attack damage growth increased. Tristana's lost her scaling identity over time. She really has. Late game Tristana used to be very, very frightening. She used to take turrets like it was nothing. We're returning some power to her late game, which should also make her less reliant on blasting all in with Hail of Blades for an early snowball start. That's actually pretty cool. AD growth 3.3 to 3.7, not too much, but should still be significant. At level 18, 121. Vel'Koz, Q and W AP ratios increased. That's really cool. So he's just going to pretty much do more magic damage. Vel'Koz has been pretty weak, so we're giving him a bigger reward for hitting those calculated skill shots. This could help him research his opponents more effectively in mid lane. That's pretty cool. All right, that's pretty cool. Then we have Vladimir, base armor increased. That's pretty cool. I don't know why his armor is increased. Let's read here. Vladimir has been missing from both pro play and top lane for some time. Vladimir is a top laner? I definitely thought he was a mid laner. Yet has remained fairly powerful for most players in mid. Oh, there we go. Boosting his durability early should let him brawl and sustain more effectively against melee fighters. That should be pretty cool. Isn't he ranged though? Why is he trying to get in with the melee fighters? Maybe because of his W? I don't know. Base armor increased, should have more sustain. Xayah, Q base damage decreased late, cooldown increased late. So they decreased the damage late, but increased the cooldown late, which is interesting. Xayah's lethality build has risen to dominance in both pro and solo queue, and its poke patterns unfortunately don't offer much counterplay in lane. Since those builds tend to max Q first, we're hitting its rank up incentives to make lethality Xayah a little less appealing. Wow, I don't think Xayah players will like this too much. They've basically decreased her damage, but made her do more, allowed her ability haste to increase, allow her to do ability more, but the damage is less. That's interesting. I wonder how people are going to feel about that. We're getting to the end here. And then we have Xerath. E-stun duration increased. The Magus Ascendant has been descending through all of season 2022. Throughout all of season 22. Even though he's supposed to be at his weakest with his enemies when his enemies manage to get close, his current stun window is a little too short for him to get a chance at escaping. We're upping the duration at all distances so that he has an opportunity to get to an optimal range, as well as to make it more satisfying when he snipes from afar. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Xerath players are going to like that, for sure. That's actually a pretty good buff. Then we have Zoe. Q and R mana costs decreased. That's pretty cool. I like that. I don't play Zoe, but mana cost decreasing, you better believe I'm about that. So Zoe may actually be very old, but she often doesn't outgrow mana issues like other mages do. Since she tends to build damage and doesn't synergize well with Tyr, we're helping her out by reducing her mana costs. This should especially help her wave clear after lane phase, which requires lots and lots of Qs as the game progresses. Okay, alright. I like that. I like decreasing the mana cost of spells. That's probably my favorite, nerf, or buff, I mean. I don't play Zoe, but I think Zoe players will be pretty happy about that too. And then we'll just do the items here. Let's see what the items say. Stopwatch, one of my favorite items. Being able to use Stopwatch in addition to having its terminal items can lead to some pretty jarring game states and all-around awkward moments. So we're removing that optimization. Stopwatch will no longer be purchasable if you already own Guardian Angel or Zonya's Hourglass. That's a pretty big update. Okay, that's a pretty big update, but that's pretty cool. Stopwatch is one of those items I know pro players use a lot, so we'll see how that affects MSI. But that's a pretty interesting change in terms of items. Overall, I don't know. The buffs, there's so many updates and buffs. It's kind of hard to keep track of them all. But overall, I guess I'm pretty pleased. We got a lot of mana cooldown reductions and some adjustments here. I think these were more nerfs than adjustments, but you see the nerfs here. Jinx is vulnerable late game, and Zaya's Q does less damage. I forgot what Soraka's nerf was, but look at all these buffs. I definitely want to play Poppy after hearing her buffs. So tell me what you think. Do you think this patch is cool? It's going to be used for the MSI. This is what MSI is practicing on, the midseason invitations. The pro players, the best players in the world, this is what they're practicing it on for their tournament. So we'll see if it affects anything. But tell me what you think about the newest patch. And until next time, this is For John. Thanks for tuning in and stay up.